it's time for another 2-minute photo tip. I'm Julie from Ultimate Photo Tips, and I'm here today with a quick comparison of JPEG versus RAW. Which one should you be using, and what's the difference anyway? RAW and JPEG are two different file formats that your camera can use to store your images. Shooting in RAW is like taking a digital negative. Your camera stores all of the data that it captures. And I like to think of RAW as like unbaked cookie dough. This means that you can take your raw data and you can bake it into any recipe you want, which means that you have complete control over the way the final image looks in terms of things like brightness, contrast, saturation, white balance, and a host of other things. In fact, you can take the same raw data and you could process your image multiple times in different ways to get different final looks. That's like taking your cookie dough and baking different shaped cookies from it. So if raw format is like unbaked cookie dough, then a JPEG is like a baked cookie. In this case, your camera takes into account all the predefined picture mode settings that you've chosen, and it creates an image to those specifications, like baking your cookie to a specific recipe. Now here's the thing, JPEG is what's known as a compressed file format. That means that it's smaller than a RAW file because it's been compressed down, but that compression happens by taking all of the ingredients that aren't baked into this particular recipe and throwing them away. So that means there's no going back. Once you've made your choice, you can't take your JPEG and edit it later to try and make changes. If you do, every time you save that file, you're actually going to be throwing away more data and degrading your file. It's like taking a baked cookie and trying to crumble it up and create a new cookie from it. It just doesn't work. If you're just starting out, I recommend that you spend your time concentrating on your composition and your exposure, and you just shoot in JPEG. That way your images are going to be ready to go straight to print or to the web. Learning post-processing software, that's a whole extra learning curve. If you're a more advanced photographer and you're ready to expand your creative control into post-processing, then I recommend you try shooting in RAW. It's going to give you the best image quality, and it's going to give you extra flexibility and control over your final image. So drop by ultimatephototips.com for more information about RAW and JPEG file formats, as well as a whole lot of other photo tips. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter while you're there. That's it for today. Happy shooting, and I will see you next time.